Yes.
So we gotta kill it. We gotta eradicate it.
So,
Thank you.
So how do they count?
There's a couple different methods. There is.
I mean, because if it's
What they're
it's
going to
cloning
do.
itself with each time that
What
it's
they're
broken to
going to
pieces.
do, and why they need this money. They've tried to go in and spot collect, and that didn't work. It started to work, but they're just not sure that they're getting it, and every season that it grows, it multiplies quickly. So what they did was they had somebody come in from the New Hampshire DEP that uses regularly a chemical called dicrot. I only know it as dicrot. It's dicrot, but there's another name with it, but they just call it dicrot. And it goes and it settles onto the plant. They came in and they had a big meeting with Lebanon and Milton over in Milton, and they showed the statistics and stuff. It doesn't stay in the fatty tissues of fish and stuff, so it's not deadly to the fish or to the birds and all that stuff. The biggest thing is that a few towns, Somersworth, I think, and Berwick, use that water for a water supply, so
I was just
people were
gonna ask
really
you
nervous
that.
about that, but they've already signed off on it. They've had their scientists look at it, and they don't feel it's dangerous to people. So they've already signed off on it. They're ready to go with it. They just need the funding and the agreement from the board.
And they have also checked that, what was I gonna say?
The no spray.
The no spray, that
Yeah.
it's legal under the no spray agreement.
Yeah,
It's
which
not
it is.
considered.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
They've dotted the i's and crossed the t's, and it's been a
It's been a
process to
long
get to
process,
this.
yeah.
Yeah, it's been really a lot. It's pretty much 2 years now they've been talking about the need to use that chemical, and they
How
finally got
many
it.
years does the treatment continue?
They said at least 5, so this would be a continuing commitment. And like I said, this year they're asking for 6,000, depending on what happens, they may ask for more next year, I don't know, but just remember you have that TPPA, which is which is also kicking in, I guess it's people that are interested in the waterways and stuff, and they're also kicking in quite a big chunk of money toward this too, it's not only on the towns or the states, so. I thought that since they were kicking in, I thought that it must be pretty important.
It's a collective effort to
Yeah.
get this resolved.
Yeah, I was shocked when I heard so much about it.
Is it in Lake too, or just?
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
But not as much, not as
I
much,
haven't
yeah.
read about it. I kind of glossed over it.
So I think that we probably don't have a
Thank you.
problem with that.
Yeah, well, I mean, that is what they asked for, and it's the
Right.
least amount of
And
everybody.
we'll reduce,
Yeah,
So-
we're getting
we'll reduce the
the
value of
short
properties on the lake if something isn't
So
done.
6,600.
Right, and especially since we just went way up
Reevaluate
with all the
that,
taxes.
that's true,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, we all set with that, everybody?
The amount I
All set.
put on the chart was wrong, 6,600.
And the assessor,
Yes.
Right. Assessor,
assessor, 40,000 is a new, position that they put in here. How much 40,000?
So is it, that's to pay for someone
I
to go
don't
around
wait a
and
minute.
assess the properties based on?
Yeah, we have to pay for someone.
Well, here's the thing, is this a subcontractor, or is it a hired person, and there's no taxes on?
Yeah, we haven't, nobody's been
I
talking.
thought that was the job of the selectman.
Well, that's what I don't understand, it says assessor, and from what they've said in
But they
meeting, they're
cut their
hiring an
pay
assessing
supposedly.
agent, so
I wouldn't have spoken to it at all, I don't know.
Request.
you don't know.
But they
So
cut
would
their
you-
pay because of
Would you
the
be
request.
considered
Cut the
self-employed?
selectmen's
It's
back?
not me, I don't know anything about it, I haven't been, I currently am,
Well, they're
yes.
asking for-
I can answer that, I currently am
Really?
self-employed.
As an assessing agent, right, not as the assessor.
Right, in order to have an assessor for the town of Lebanon, it needs to be voted on 90 days before the annual town meeting. They can put it on this ballot, but it won't be effective till next year, to be an assessor position. Assessing agent, they can do.
So,
So until it's approved.
I guess this is,
Okay,
I guess this is what it looks like. This is a person who's
Nothing doing that.
not with that money.
subcontracted labor. Yes?
Okay, so right off the bat, I have no problem with 40,000, because Shard and I were just sitting here fiddling with numbers, and 40 40,000?
40,000 divided by 52 weeks is roughly $769 a week. So
Divided by 40?
divided that by 40, that makes a base pay of $19.23 an
And
hour.
that's just not gonna happen.
By 40 what? 40 hours?
Yeah.
You won't ever get anybody walking here for 40 hours a week for that.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
But I mean, an independent
That's not
contractor's not an employee. I mean, unless, I don't know, but I'm
I
assuming.
guess it depends on what they're doing for
Well,
I
hours.
have
if
no
you're
idea. That's right.
subcontracted employee, remember, they're not paying your taxes, so they're gonna have to pay you more.
That $40,000
You're paying
is
your
not
own
getting
gas.
us.
They're not paying
That's
for
the
the
most
vehicle,
ridiculous
and they're
thing.
not reimbursing
No,
for
they're
the
not paying for
phone.
anything.
Okay, but
I
it's
agree.
possible that they may be just considering a part-time assessor.
That's what I would say.
Full-time.
That this isn't gonna be a full-time position.
No,
I mean, cause how much,
It's
when you,
never,
when you were a selectman, how much of the town did you get assessed? Does it need to be assessed every year?
You
Well, it
have
should be
what,
assessed.
all,
It isn't-
yeah,
it
okay.
isn't really the
Okay,
number.
just wait, Ben, please, answer that question.
Yep, so what has been being done was whatever codes produced, whatever the code officer produced.
Okay,
I mean, I think that's what you were doing back when you were a selectman, Judy, right? It was
Yes.
basically what code officer produces.
Or any new, yeah, mostly it's.
But by law,
additions
you're
or-
required to touch every property in town every 4 years.
Right.
So we're not doing what needs to be done.
okay, so,
We used to get a list
uh-huh,
from the code enforcement, but everybody that was new, that had an addition, that put up a barn, a garage, whatever.
then it has to be reassessed? Okay, so every property has to be assessed,
Once every
once every 4 years.
Yeah.
So what percentage of the town had you guys completed?
Oh,
Nothing? Well,
None.
because I know you did like the trailer parks and the.
Right, we did mobile homes, broke that out, some very loosely, business on 202, mostly just the storage units. There was a problem, so we did all the storage units. And your waterfront. And waterfront, understand, as a selectman assessor, took 3 years.
Okay,
So
We didn't
those-
start till my second year in, really.
right,
So
right.
those categories,
I'm sorry.
those categories are done? No.
Mobile homes, I would say no. Told the board, because I think the town needs to have a reval on your residential and your commercial done. It's more work than what one person can do. Because by the time one person starts sweeping across this town, are those numbers even gonna be valid? Is it gonna be the same square footages? Does somebody build something? I mean, as long as they're going through codes, we're all good. We can catch up with it. But how much really goes on in this town that's not going through codes? A lot. So you really need a professional crew to come in and just sweep through in the course of, a summer or less than a year.
So there are people that do that for a living?
Certified
Absolutely.
assessors.
Yeah.
Fred does that.
No, I mean,
No, yeah.
teams,
Yeah.
teams that just
Yeah.
let themselves out.
Yeah.
That comes to about $13.88 an hour, which is,
That's a lot more.
Let's just base that on one
36.
person's salary.
35 now.
So let's just base that on one person's salary. $36 an hour is what we're paying right now. 36. So how they think they're gonna budget for
Maybe it's a
19?
part-time.
You
Okay,
can't have part-time.
hold on,
You
hold on,
can't.
hold on.
Remember, we have to make this pass too. We put an
I don't-
assessing company on.
You can pass it all day long, but nobody's gonna do it for 19 bucks.
I'm just
That's
saying.
not how you need to look at it, though. I mean, no, I don't think that you're looking at it
Could we
correctly.
Please, just one person talk at a time, and we can raise our hands, because it's
I
getting
did raise
confusing. Ben, I think you were
I
talking.
apologize, I didn't raise my hand. I'm not part of it. But, what you'd be looking at, and I don't have no idea what they're thinking, but I mean, realistically, yeah, I've already heard about this. I wasn't consulted, so I don't have any input on that. But, the contract I have currently ends the end of this fiscal year. So, yeah, I'm gonna be interested in bidding again. I think it should go out to bid, that's what I've told them. But this would be basically 2.5 days a week. And that's in a fair range.
How many hours in?
An 8 to 10 hour day. I mean, depends what that individual wants to bid, but I mean, I based it off 8 to 10 hour day. Playing with the numbers 2 different ways.
2.5.
Here's an
25 hours?
average assessor out there at $35 to $36 an hour is very cheap. I know Waterboro's, the ones that they had were in that range. That's why I'm in that range right now, But on average, they will get around $50 to $55 an hour. It's basically come out to
I said,
$500 to $750 a day is what they'll charge to come in, depending on how many days they're giving you in a week.
So if they worked 20 hours a week, that would be $38 an hour. So she's right, you know, that's not gonna pass if they're already getting between $40 and $50 an hour. Right.
Waterboro had budgeted in the past at right around 40,000, and they had their assessors, independent contractors coming in 2 days a week, and then they moved it up to 3 days a week, I believe. So I think they were still doing it at 40, or just a little over 40. I'd have to go back and look. They just turned it into a full-time position, and they were hiring in the 52 to 59,000 a year range.
Might take another split with Milford too, trying to.
Limerick, they were looking at 1 day a week, but it didn't go through.
Deborah?
So, here's my question. It's nice to say, like everybody else that does this at a part-time position, but are they all as far behind as we are?
Waterboro is.
So that's all that they're spending is $40,000?
Well, the thing is though, if you're gonna put it out to bid,
Right.
only people who are interested in that are gonna put a bid in.
Right.
There's a serious amount of work that's never ever been done here. You know, you've signed your certified ratio for the state. You know, the state comes in, you're always a year behind. What numbers you're looking at was a year behind. That basically was the difference between what things are selling at across the town on average versus what your assessments are.
Those are a lot of money.
Right.
And so we've been certifying at 96, 97%. You know, but when you start breaking it, and they're just looking at the big picture. They don't care other than that. They want you to qualify between 70 and 110%. And then they're gonna reimburse you the 50% and whatever, you know, whatever, tree growth, things like that. If you don't meet those, they won't reimburse you, you'll lose your reimbursement. But we're well within that range. But when it comes down to proving what we have, when you start hitting abatements, I think so far, the town's gotten away with it, but we're getting bigger and bigger and bigger, more complicated. And people, honestly, since the internet's really been rolling, are a lot more educated.
Absolutely.
You know, and so you end up with, you should be doing ratio studies, which I had to do for the waterfront. You know, I had to come up with some sort of grid of a price per square foot and then a depreciation cost on top of that. We got nothing, you know, so it was quite a task to get that together for the waterfront. We need to be building that for all our different categories across town, keeping up with it.
So the follow-up to that question is that we have no zoning, and I would imagine that we're probably looking at some kind of zoning for all these marijuana issues with the planning board.
I'll fill that conversation in tomorrow night.
Right.
I went to a
But
workshop.
that's why I didn't get into it any further than that, but I know that they've been working on
Comprehensive
that.
plan.
So if there is a decision to create commercial zoning, that's all gonna have to be reevaluated right away.
Correct.
And I'm just telling you.
Nope,
40,000.
absolutely not, absolutely not.
How can you do that?
Okay, so what would
Nope,
you?
absolutely not.
Right.
Can I respond to her real
Yeah.
quick? Because that's not accurate. Because
Betsy's next.
assessments are based off from your sale values. So let's go back to, we'll use your example, but maybe I can draw a parallel to the European naiad. Okay? What do you think everybody's saying on the lake? We got an invasive species, my value is down.
Right.
I've checked with the state, you know, to make sure, but that I was right when I was reporting back, but absolutely not. When the sales start tanking, that's when you start adjusting your assessments. So right now, zoning, just because you got commercial buildings out there, they're still going to have a value on them. So of course we don't have a lot of turnover.
Right.
You know, there are other ways, income approach, you know, and capitalization rate. I get that from the banks. You know, if I don't have a lot of sales to draw off from, you can go with, they know what they're loaning on for capitalization rates. So your properties out there can be assessed more properly. When you do get the zoning in, when and if that happens, I know it's coming at some point.
Right.
That'll probably dictate sales to drive higher, because now I don't have to have the pig farmer next to my house, or I don't have to, you know what I mean? So on the residential, you're not going to see it, but on the commercial, you might see that drive the values higher when they resell.
Right.
And that's when the assessor responds. It doesn't happen, the assessor does not drive the values.
When we start to have marijuana businesses in town and people start to build, there's no need for assessing as the building is going on, it's not until like the following year, is that what you're saying?
No,
I'm not understanding how that,
Based off of square footage too of the.
that's what I was
as well, isn't it?
no, because, I mean, you just asked two different questions, was,
Well,
because
Well, no,
based off if you're
you answered a
50%,
question I didn't ask.
if you're 50%, built, then you will come up with a value on that and only assess them for 50%.
Right.
You know, whatever. I've been working with codes on that. Because for the assessor, there's 10 different points of a structure. There's 10 things that we're going to look at. Very similar to his. He doesn't quite have that 10, but I want to narrow that down. So when he's going through his checklist, what are you hitting out of my 10 so that I can go, okay, that's 70%, and I can make a good argument on that type of thing. You know what I mean? I understood your question. I understood your statement, I should say, to say that the zoning was then would have to adjust the assessments based off zoning.
Well, no, once the zoning, what I was saying is once it comes in and it's commercial zoned, isn't a commercial zoned area or commercial buildings, I know not right now in Lebanon, but aren't they usually assessed at a higher tax rate because they're commercial property?
Again, only based off recent sales. So you'd have to wait for things to start flipping. So if you wanna say
Okay,
the land
probably
values-
the next following year, we'd be looking
Might
at
be
a
5
higher
years.
assessing value?
Might be 5 years, you know, depends on how much is actually flipping. You know, is somebody gonna pay, you know, right now, roughly in the $35,000 to $40,000 range for 2 acres residential? Is somebody gonna pay $100,000 for 2 acres?
Yeah.
Maybe,
Right.
but you're not right now. But you're not right now.
Right.
So that's where the assessing is driven by past sales.
Okay. I think I understand.
My question was,
I'm sorry.
is there a penalty for not having the assessing done other than that we're losing tax revenues?
You're required by the state and to do it. It's not a town job, but in truth, the only thing they ever do is they'll strip away all your reimbursement if you're not meeting
Oh,
it.
lovely.
That's it. That's no big deal.
So.
There's towns up, I can't remember which town it was right now, but they an old farmer town, and they don't even bother with tree growth. I don't care if I get your reimbursement, because they assess everything so low
Then okay.
that they don't care. Well, you won't get reimbursement. We don't care.
Yeah. There'd be no reimbursements.
They're assessing at less per acre than what tree growth is.
So that people can keep their homes properly, correct?
They're at somewhere around 48% certified ratio.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is
Okay.
it, what
But they're
is
still
supposed to be
selling.
76 to,
All right,
It's still selling.
Yes.
Double.
76 to 120
did you
or
have
something?
something to say, Jerry?
70 to 110.
I do.
Go ahead.
Okay, Deb, so what
Make
do
it
you
quick,
recommend?
Jerry.
What am I recommending?
Right.
Well, in light of this, what I'm hearing, Ben thinks it can be done part-time, you know. But I'm just not really sure that 40,000 is good, but that's just my.
Do you want
it's
to
a
recommend
start.
something else, is what I'm asking?
I'd like to hear if anybody else has any comments before
John?
I make
I'll
a.
probably put some numbers into perspective and then we can go from there.
Yeah.
Right now, as it looks from the general government budget, there is a line that they've thrown in there for what Ben's done so far. He's at about $13,000 spent so far. So for funds, I looked at what
That's
13,000,
some more from last year.
Right.
600, something like
that,
that.
anyway,
Into the whole.
13,000, according to, and just kind of looking at the 40,000, this new line. Now, if this was a position that was already there, only 32% of the budget has been spent.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, looking at other things, Ben mentioned he's done, depending on the assessor, 8 or 10-hour days, 2 times a week. 16 hours at $36 per hour equals $576 per week, which equals just under $30K a year. 20 hours at 36 hours per week, or $36 per hour, equals 720 a week, which is $37,440.
So 40 should be all right.
And if he was to do if the assessor was to do 25 at 36 per hour, that's 900 a week, which brings you to 46,800 for a year. So it looks like the Board of Selectmen worked on in between 20 and 25 hours. I estimate probably somewhere between 21, 22 hours a week.
That's good. Yeah, plus we want it to pass.
Well, I do think
And not
that
12,000 off of their
we
selectmen's
need
pay.
Correct.
Right.
to be up to date here.
Permission they have already.
I suppose you're allowed in.
And they have to get it started.
But how long has it been before you
So here's,
would finish a town at that kind of a rate? A general contractor do the whole town, or somebody would do it.
Oh, we don't have to do it.
You couldn't. To do a reval?
So he,
No, I mean, but you'd have to have a company do that. and that's
Yeah,
gonna be
I
300,000.
don't think so. There's a couple out there right now, they're willing for a price out there, and it's under 100, so, I question him, because I mean, one knows the town, he does know the town. I don't wanna, he did tell me exactly what he was gonna bid, and I'm like, but I said, you know, I think there's more problems in than what he understands, so.
okay, so here's my thought on that too, is that Sean's given us like 20, what was it, 13% or 22% or something?
32%.
So since Ben finished the waterfront, and tell me if I'm wrong, because I think I'm pretty right on it, he's only been in the office being charged like every other Friday, right?
I've had to do a little more.
But, yeah, but
Gotta
basically,
respond back to the abatements, but,
you're not really doing assessments right now. Since you finished the waterfront, you've just been basically office hours and fixing the little, so.
well,
this
here's the
is
other part of
not-
it too, though, Deb, I'm so
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt, but,
That's okay. I'd rather
they're
figure it out.
doing the new stuff right now. You know,
Okay.
Royce is out there, and I think Paul is touching on some of that, so that assessor would do those hours too. Not happening right now.
Right, so what I'm saying, if we look at the budget as it sits right now, we can say there's only been like 13,000 expended on that. But the truth of the matter is that he's not out there assessing all the time right now. He's not even out there assessing 2.5 days a week like was thought. He's been sitting in the office and doing office stuff and just going out and picking at the little problems that have come up. So
But he also has to
13%
be given
of
the directive to assess it.
right, but that's what I'm saying, but we can't use that
Okay, let's-
13%.
I
Sorry,
think we're
Joyce.
ready to
I think we
wrap
are
this
too.
one
Yeah,
up.
because you
I
can't use
mean,
that
it looks to me like maybe we'll just take a vote. Oh, one more, yeah.
Like, looking at it, you're subcontracted really, and how come you're getting mileage?
That's what I asked for.
Are you getting mileage?
I get
What do you do?
Well, I'm not doing it now, I retired, but.
Oh, okay, yes, yes, I did too, yes, yes, I did.
I mean, most of it, I just,
I thought you had some good job.
I did.
no, that wouldn't be included in the 40,000.
So, what vote are you gonna take then?
Well, I mean, do we want to just agree with this, or do we want to?
I think we should leave it the way it is, because I'm afraid it might not pass, period. I mean, a lot of people don't want
Yeah.
reassessment.
Well, because they don't.
And realistic,
It's in
so,
the
not-
best
not
interest, I
reasonable.
think it's the best interest for us to reassess.
Absolutely,
We're gonna move
it's in their
forward.
best interest also, but most people
Yeah.
don't see it
They
that
think
way.
their taxes will.
Right.
They can do
Yeah,
both.
Right, instead of bringing in more revenues, they think their taxes are gonna go up, so they're gonna look at it, not through
So you're
rose-colored
rec-
glasses.
you wanna
I'm
make a motion?
recommending we stay
You're
at,
making a motion.
I'll make a motion that we keep it at 40,000.
Second.
I would like to see a year's worth of numbers before we come
I
back
just
to
don't
it.
see
Yeah.
his worth of a budget.
All in favor? Opposed? One, that would be
Sorry.
Hey,
Don't
you're entitled to your
apologize.
opinion.
You vote with us?
Absolutely.
We may disagree with it, but.
Yeah, but that's okay.
So I think
That's the
that,
best part of having a big board.
that's right. Does anybody have, did we miss anything?
No, so we need to look at this new transfer budget.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
They did not give us a copy of that.
We have a new-
They didn't leave us a copy of that, I should say.
What does she got?
They sent it to us via email.
Oh, I
but
didn't.
Oh, it's not in
Oh,
here?
I have to
No.
reconnect,
Oh.
I have to reconnect my,
Oh, well, let's
You want me to
I
make
mean,
copies?
would you
Would
please?
you like to be transferred budgetly today and tell us what they said?
No, would you make copies? for
I'll
me?
make a copy.
Oh, thank you,
Thank
Laura.
you.
I have one.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we should look at it.
You know, these meetings, we're gonna have to start taking recesses.
No kidding.
well, we didn't get such a late start.
Jerry might just have to take a nap.
How about nap breaks?
Yeah.
So I got $658 from the state. Would you like me to call them? I don't to share. Maybe on Tuesday.
Okay, I offered. They didn't listen.
So they don't know.
It's a very long day. Not taking much time.
How long does it take?
224, that one was, yeah.
An hour.
Must have been
No,
224.
no, we worked an hour on
Well, no, I'm sorry.
224 is
10,
what
10, 12 hours.
was.
Yeah.
You have a copy of it too?
Yeah.
What did they go
10 or
with for
12
wages?
hours.
65.
Well, it's, yeah, I'm generally there nine and a half. and then it's an hour each direction.
Realistically, that wouldn't make
It's just a long
sense.
day.
Yeah, if they're gonna leave it up to 3 days, we
Yes,
don't know
it
those
is.
numbers.
Right, but they put it down to 65.
Are you, I
We
worked
added it
in
70.
Boston,
That's
and with the Andover.
And that wasn't,
I never knew it was gonna be an hour
so
and a
when we
half,
figured out it wasn't.
2.5
Well, you
hours.
never know.
Something you could get the same hours.
Yeah.
50.
When I worked in Boston, I
What
was
is it,
at,
9 or something like
my
that?
commute was 12 miles, and some days it would take me an hour and a half.
Yeah, there you go. Shut up, Deborah.
Especially Friday, I mean,
Oh,
if I didn't get out at exactly 3:30,
Yep,
I was
Yep.
done. Done.
Driving from where?
I was traveling from Boston, and it was a 12-mile drive, and it would take me an hour and a half some days.
oh, I know.
Where were you going from Boston?
To
Is there
Sardis.
more than one?
Oh, yeah, because I
I
saw
know.
the Middleton.
Yep.
So
I
it's about
used
the
to have a
same.
big
Yeah.
commute to-
Going to Route 1 was.
Yeah.
Okay, focusing on the transfer station. And we will go to,
Surprise.
Two pages.
Because you keep opening.
How did I get all of these?
I used to work in Boston too. It would take me 2.5 hours.
Would you like one of these, Ben?
Yeah.
Sure,
And that
thank
was-
you.
So this request came from the selectmen?
this came from them this week.
So they were at.
Royce, maybe you can answer that question real quick. Is this corrected set of transport station numbers from the Board of Selectmen as a whole?
Yes, the wages went down.
And the electricity went down. No,
No.
oh, that's taxes.
No, I don't think so.
This isn't correct?
No, you still got that one at wages at 65. I don't believe we agreed to that finally.
No, I think we decided to go at 70.
Oh,
Well, with this one.
This
You
is,
went
I
to
don't
go
know,
with
this is.
7,000, 70,000.
Yeah, we did go to 70,000.
So waste management was the only thing that went up by $12,000.
This is incorrect. Royce is saying, this isn't even, this is not.
This isn't even correct.
nothing's correct.
No,
Well, your wages will be up and your payroll taxes are off.
None of this is right.
no.
Yeah.
When did you do this, Royce, may I ask?
This one here,
Yeah,
this looks like one that was done way back in the
Yeah.
beginning.
this is 224 with the print date.
Yeah, but the numbers aren't right in it.
No, they're not.
But
I
the
knew they
difference,
weren't,
that's
because I could
different
hear
than the
them.
one I have.
Maybe what they came up with, and it wasn't 65.
Yeah, it's different than the one you
What did
have.
they come up with?
What did you guys come up with, Royce?
Well, I'm sorry, they did, evidently they didn't, I didn't agree to the 65. I know that. So apparently we're not done with it yet.
I have 70.
Then why did Jordan send it to us?
Because
I have no idea, I guess he's just gonna do what he wants.
Well, it's higher than what they asked for last time, it's
We went up in
386,
electricity.
and you know, asked for
I remember
380,
we
so
went
it's
up
gone up.
in electricity.
And what this looking asked request for.
Right. Right, it's not right. This isn't what the selectmen did.
Well, the fact,
So the wages went down by 5,000 on this one, and the waste management went up by 12,000.
We were at 70,000, were we not?
Yes, we were.
yes, we were.
And on your sheet, where did we end up? 70, we ended up at 70,000 on your sheet?
On this one,
On the new one, it says
On the-
65.
the new one is 65,
Right.
So they went down.
before they was 70.
Yeah, but
They wanted
Royce
70.
said that that's not the number they came up with.
That wasn't what I agreed to, but
It's
maybe,
not what
maybe
you
the other
agreed
two
to, but I
said.
think
Oh,
that
but is this
they came
what
up with.
Paul and Christine voted on?
Could
I
be.
believe they
Could be.
did. I somehow think that.
So
They had
waste
380 the
management.
last
It's
time.
generous.
The numbers-
386, but the
Oh.
whole budget's gone up 6,000 something.
Yeah.
This was sent
Yeah.
on Friday, February 24th.
$6,373. So this must be,
It looks like they're filed high.
Yeah, I just don't agree with that
so they
65.
went down
Well, we
too
didn't
low
agree
from
with
what
the
we said.
65 either, so,
Well, we recommended 70,000.
Yeah,
right.
What would the?
Five. 5,000,
600.
no, 5,000.
So how much would this, the taxes are 75,000?
5,600, yeah.
And then we went up 500 in electricity,
Supplies would be 1,000.
and they went
We
down.
went up to 1,500 with the one.
Electricity,
Yeah, we
Yeah, we went up to
went up to
5,000.
5,000 and they went down to 4,500.
well, they were at 45.
They were originally at 45.
We put it up to 5,000.
Wait a minute, what are we talking about? I know, but
We're talking about what we had worked
What
out
we worked
last time and then
Right.
what the
Why we
selectmen
bothered to have a subcommittee on
Right.
Building
Because
maintenance,
they get to meet with us as a whole.
we were gonna break up the maintenance into 2,500 for building and 2,500 for
it.
property.
That's right, 2,500
for building,
property, 2,500.
property, and what's the other one?
Building maintenance and then property
Property
maintenance,
maintenance.
separate line items.
Oh, I don't have that
The
online.
numbers he had was about 2 individuals that work how many hours up there?
Two that were 24, but they said 27, correct?
Yeah.
Two that were 27, two that were 18.
That's what it was.
And we
Right.
increased
One
that.
of, one of the 24 makes 1428, and all the other three make 1328.
They don't have it separated on here.
Safety equipment for 400 somewhere, I think it does.
Yeah, we requested it. That was what we had.
5,000 for
Those are the Jeopardy.
services.
Yeah.
14, 15 numbers, I haven't seen the new ones yet.
5,000 for waste management.
Still
We
haven't
had
seen.
we had
safety
280.
equipment,
We have
400.
safety equipment.
I got 'em.
Make me, oh,
Oh,
Should
we did?
anybody be allowed boots? Yes.
Thank you.
We got safety
We did?
equipment at 450 because, remember, we found boots put in different places, so that they would go over budget, remember?
So they're
So we'd
giving
rather-
$100 per employee for
I think
boots.
it's, I think 75, I think it was 75.
I think it's a-
And, but some of the guys weren't spending all that, I think one guy spent $69, or some of them weren't spending the whole 75, but they budgeted for $75 a piece for them to have.
And waste management, 300,000, would that be correct?
That's,
Well,
looks like a 3, no, more than 3% from.
We had, I don't know, it was 288 for requests.
Right,
Right.
and now it's 300.
But I think they just got their
They
new
did.
numbers in
They
from
would've just
waste
got
man-
that number.
They did, I know they did.
Royce,
Okay.
does,
The
Royce,
big difference
does
is
that
in the
reflect your
wages.
concern about the demolition stuff, the waste management contract?
yeah, still waiting for an answer on that. I don't know how big a deal it'll be, but I'm sure there'll be significant numbers. I'm still waiting for my answer.
For advertising.
So this is correct.
Yeah, overall, I see they added, because it went up around 300,000.
Right, 300,000 is what they budgeted for.
That would be, the,
Wonder how they
that would
came up with
seem,
the 65 for wages.
But we still haven't met with the board,
We have a
Board of
couple
Selectmen
hands.
on this.
Right.
Well,
Sean?
Okay, so, real quick, so we don't have to spend all night on this payroll line. The reason it looks like they put 65,000 requested is if you base the employees, two of them working full-time 27, the other two are working 18 hours. You do all the calculations, that comes out to about $63,554.
okay,
So they rounded it to 65.
okay.
That's where that number comes from.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, because I think we went 70 when we were gonna ask them about opening on Mondays, but
That's
they
correct,
said they don't really want Mondays, so.
65,000?
65, yeah.
65?
Laura, anybody?
Oh, I agree with 65.
Okay, all right, good.
So
So the payroll taxes are gonna change.
That'd be the same.
I'm a little worried about
Oh, that's right.
electricity.
Did he figure it right?
We increased that to 5,000?
Yeah, but they decreased it
Yeah, okay,
from 54 to 45.
okay.
What was decreased?
They never
Oh.
increased it because we
Right.
made the suggestion, but that suggestion never made the paper,
Right.
essentially.
They
So
decreased it
we
from the previous
decided
year,
as,
though.
a committee
So this
to go
budget is $50 higher than theirs.
wages.
There's two people
Yes.
talking.
So it's
Okay.
$50
Yes.
higher.
What?
I'm sorry, Ben?
Do you have any numbers as of the close of last year? Do you have any, for any of these budgets? It's the first time I've seen this form, they're not on the form.
Oh, no,
No.
I had to manually do it.
Yeah, no,
I had to go through my 15, 16.
Because that's what I'm doing, and, to some degree, but when we did these last year,
We don't have any.
those
actual-
papers I have are December and January, so.
then we
The
ask
numbers
for
are
them
not
and
gonna
ask
be
for them and
matched.
ask for them. You can't bang your head off the wall anymore than we have.
No, I'm just asking, how can you even do this without actual numbers from last year? I didn't know, it's the first time I've seen the form, so I
We've
didn't.
been
We
going
had to go through
over
a manual.
January expense report.
We've gone, we went through last year's, yeah, we went through last year.
Last year was 42.50.
No,
Yeah, we've got them, 42.
No, what Ben's saying is
No, no, this
Or,
year.
again,
they
actual.
should, they've never been put on these budget sheets.
Right,
Do you actually have the expenditure sheets though, at
We
least?
have the
Yes.
expenses.
Right.
we do.
Like I said, we had to manually go through to
Oh, that's
see what
fine,
we
as long as you
spent.
got something, yeah.
Exactly. No,
But
it
we
would be
did, we
really
went over
nice to
every
have
line
the
item.
actual
then,
one.
really.
You think?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
You think so? Yeah, I think so too.
It was 42.52 last year.
We got the actual for two
What was,
thousand.
what was waste management,
Gary,
just
what
out
do
of
you-
curiosity, end of last year? Actual.
Well,
295,620.50.
Is it 200?
Oh,
No, Ben, he was answering Ben's question.
Yeah, I was gonna say, no,
295?
Yep, 295.
you got the number right there.
That's
Six
last
twenty.
year? No, we're $50 more than theirs.
So 300 is not gonna be enough.
That's because we went up on.
300,000 is
We
not
went
gonna be
up
enough
on
for waste
safety
management.
equipment, $50.
$50 up on safety
So
equipment.
we have to add 50 to 386,
Why are we
573.
I keep saying that, and I keep getting argued down.
Person and there's 4 people, why are we budgeting?
Well, when it runs out, we get trash in the streets, I guess we'll know.
I'll
There
I'll
was
agree.
a reason because they had,
That's before the
when
shutdown.
And they only
Royce
get them
talked
every
about
2
it, he
years.
talked
before the
about
shutdown.
Every year.
that they had talked
Oh,
about
work
getting
3
back
days
into
a
the
week.
safety back.
Gotta do
Probably
something.
probably since the work was too, because they're out there walking around with cars and stuff like that,
I
so.
thought we were having the four, isn't this?
Yes, we should be up 400.
yeah, there were some that were.
We were at 400 for safety?
Yeah, let's say
Well,
that.
that's what I heard, but-
So basically, we're pretty much agreeing with.
We're out agreeing. Yep.
Well, except for the
Wages.
and the 2 lines for maintenance.
No,
The
we agreed to
wages, we
65.
agreed, we went down to wages at 65.
Oh, I mean, what we
Right.
previously
We
talked.
divided that, right,
Yeah.
25 and 27.
Electricity was the only thing we got.
I'm
Oh,
ready with
electricity,
this.
that's right, we went up.
So 5,000.
They say we'd be done with the transfer.
So we're done with
I don't
this,
think
right?
they, how much you wanna bet they didn't actually mean to change it to 4,500 and it was just a typo?
Like a Quinella, because it was
No,
54 to 45. To go into the track the rest of it.
What did they, we went to 5 because we felt
Last
it
year
was
they
gonna
spent
go up.
42 last year.
42 last year, that's why they said 45 this year.
This year we're at 1981, that was back in January.
So,
Well, they're only open
Wait a
4
minute.
to 3
They're
days
only
a
open
week.
3 days.
What am I not seeing here?
I mean, we could agree with them on this actually, and not,
I'm fine.
really, we could agree with them on this.
Yeah, 43,
Right.
we got 2,000.
I think we should.
I think we should.
I make a motion, we agree with them.
Okay, I'll second it.
All in favor?
Opposed? You opposed? Who
Oh,
seconded?
You were late.
My only question, Betty, is,
I did.
Yes, okay.
my only question is remembering to ask them to split that maintenance.
We can
Because
ask.
it will
Oh,
be
yeah.
easier for next year, please ask them to split that maintenance. But other than that, I don't think I have a problem with that budget.
And that passed.
It's done. Done. Oh, we can mark that off on our little thing, we can give it a check and stuff.
That was- I thought that was gonna
Just
be-
get the general government.
Oh my God, we have.
We haven't done.
No,
we
transfer.
We have the biggest, and we're just filling the rest of the
The
right
longest is here.
You guys are missing the best part.
That's the best part, you adjourn.
Well,
if you're Bob.
All right.
So we change the board of selectmen recommendation on our sheets.
Yes.
Sure.
We are good.
We are
Are
good.
the payroll taxes correct?
Yes, yes. Pizza and a flask, that's what we need to start doing.
I bet you. I already.
386, 573. 38200,
386.
573.
And budget committee is going with that. Good,
Yes,
good,
we're in
good.
agreement.
I like that when we all can agree.
Ta-da.
Yes, that was a hard one.
Now the biggie.
So now are we doing general government tonight, or?
I don't have to.
I don't know how we're gonna do too much with general government without them here, but.
Well, can't Royce come in?
Yeah.
Any
Yeah.
Didn't you just
questions?
leave?
He's right there.
Why not? He's here.
Oh, you did.
Well, my question is, how much involvement do you have on the budget?
Exactly.
Well, he is a selectman, he should be involved.
I understand that,
But
but
the
you know as
selectmen
well as I do how the past few meetings today have worked out.
Right. He doesn't have a lot to say.
You should fight for what he believes in or something.
Well, you should, but it's difficult when you got two against one.
Royce, are you gonna sit in on general government?
Yeah.
Roy,
Royce!
are you gonna sit in on general government?
I'm sorry.
Are you gonna sit in on general government?
I could, but I don't know how much I can tell you.
More than we know.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I'll bring
Maybe you
up.
could, maybe you could help a little
Oh, so
bit.
we have it. It's
Sure,
good.
sure.
Thank you
Yeah,
very
Let me
much.
grab my brief, I'll be there.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Ryan.
Okay, so elections, are we doing that first?
Oh, we can, do we? Good. Good. Oh, wait, elections should be easy. Elections.
Travel expenses.
Okay.
Elections actually moved on down a little bit because this was in the presidential.
Right.
Over in front.
I'm okay.
Quick one.
Well, and
Thank you.
Okay.
But by leaving it as you also, you also allow for the capability of a special election.
if we need it, which we may.
It's not
Still have to submit it.
Oh.
from 2016.
No.
No, a special,
Still have to November one.
right, but,
Be the same.
but if somebody calls for a special election in town, you're
You
still,
have to post in the
you have to have
Yeah.
five.
We still have November election. We have, we'll have to.
Yeah, but we're short an election, because we used to have town election and school election. Now we only have one.
We did last year.
But you still have to budget for June.
But you budgeted for the two, and they only combined it last year. So you budgeted for,
Laura, what do you think of the amount?
I don't really have much in it, thank you.
You've done it before,
I know I have, but,
We're doing at least 2 a year, if not 3 now.
right, May, June, and November.
Yeah, we're doing 3 for sure.
Why are we doing
why are we doing
May,
three?
June
Wait, wait,
together?
right.
If the state calls for a bond issue to be voted on in June, you have to do it. If they vote for if they say something's gonna be voted on in November,
That's okay,
you
I'm
have
just-
to do it, whether you have
Right,
anything or
right.
not.
Right.
So that makes 3.
Yeah,
I see.
we have to budget to be 3.
So we used to have 4?
Well, you might have to budget for 4.
No, but I mean, did we used to, where
Well,
we
we
had
used
the
to have the school
town, the
budget separate.
school,
But
and
the
then
town
June
was
and
always
then
in
November?
June. The town was in June.
Oh,
with
so
the
if there
state.
was a bond, I see, okay, so we just took it off of possible June and put it on with the school.
Yeah, but if the state says you're gonna, I believe we're having one in June, I believe we have a bond issue.
I'm
We're
sure
gonna have one in
we will.
June.
Right.
And if they say there's gonna be one in November, we're gonna have one in
Oh,
November.
there'll be
Well,
one.
you're
So we
always gonna
really-
have citizens initiatives in November regardless, so.
So you
So
always
we
have to
really
at
should
least
budget
budget
for
for
four?
3, you should
Mhm.
maybe budget for one
For four.
more just in case, because you never know.
I think you're right.
But I'm sure that they did that, I mean. Because on the state, on the, school election, we always used to, bill them. But where you do it together, you can't bill them, I didn't think so, for the whole thing, at least for half of it, but.
Did you budget for 4 elections, Royce, or for 3? Do you know?
I think they only figured 3.
It was the same as last year.
Yeah, I mean,
All
yeah.
right.
And it was 4 last year.
Everything's the same.
Yeah, the
Well, I don't know if they
Except for
were
the travel
school, but.
expenses.
No, I
No,
think
there
there
was
were only
only 3.
3 because we had a special election but were we budgeted
Right.
for 3 or were we budgeted for 4?
Well, I don't,
That's what
it
I'm saying.
hasn't gone over, so. I
Yeah,
don't-
nothing's changed either.
Yeah.
So
Um,
so
It's
the
like $5
72, 72 seems pretty reasonable, doesn't it?
Travel expense came off.
Do we have, is it separated out so that we can tell what they spent on each election?
No,
That's what the expense sheet.
That's what I'm looking
Okay, that's in, under, extension.
Elections, here we go.
What page is it?
So,
Yeah, it's page 12.
And that's just payroll.
right. So, page
You got your summary?
That's on there.
Oh, that's not
Page 12.
That's not
and
one
travel
year.
expenses.
Oh, this is,
15,939.
oh, that's cool. That's, and this is posted? I don't understand that one.
Yes, this is the final mayor's
Okay.
division department, overall department, that's because this is all under general government, but this is
Right.
all of the.
All that's on here is November.
So we spent
Because that's for only half a year. Half a year.
$3,900.
It was
$15,000.
That's one election.
15,951.
Okay.
16, 17.
All right, so I'm completely lost.
It's okay, you're in court.
So how, because why is this so?
12 and 13.
Oh, that's just for the wage.
That's general
On the
government.
expense.
I'm trying to say.
Oh, a new one. Okay.
Oh, I got it now, because this is broken out of this.
Not in the general government.
Yeah,
It is.
The last two pages are the general government.
Want the clear button?
So wages.
I was trying to figure out.
So they owns expense. We've only spent 25% of the budget.
Correct.
Right, but we had a special election.
We have the special
But
election.
the
But
special
that's
election
not-
was in June,
That
and
was
that was last year.
So all we've had so far is
Is the
the
November
presidential election.
Right.
Yes, and you're gonna have two more
That's right.
in this, yeah.
Okay,
So that's 25%.
I'm just trying to grasp the whole
You're
thing.
looking at
You know, Laura said we've only had one election.
So we should.
Right.
Out of dozen.
Yeah, it should be fine.
Well, I say things a dozen times and nobody hears me.
And we're gonna have two more.
I think the 72 should be.
I think the
enough.
72 should do
Yeah.
it.
I think so too.
Potentially two.
Especially since we
Definitely
showed
one.
up.
And the travel
No, two,
expenses,
because we're gonna have the
took
school
out.
budget and this combined running plus, she just said the state has a,
She said the state
they
has a
have
bond.
one that's coming down
They do,
soon.
yes. I don't know, why did they take our travel expenses out on this? I don't know.
They took it out, so.
Well, because none of it was expended, so.
What travel expenses would you need for elections? I mean,
I don't know.
potentially
For
staff
training
development.
for
Had a
officers, I
recall.
think.
Yeah.
Seven school.
When I did it, the only time I charged travel expenses is when I had to go to the school for the open town meeting part for the
Oh,
school budget.
right.
That's when I charged expenses, that's the only time I did for
Yeah.
mileage, because that was kind of a,
Okay.
and then you had to bring the results down to the school, so, yeah,
Right.
that's when.
So when you did it, you only charged mileage from here to Berwick and back once a year?
Twice a year, because it was two different times I did it. Yes.
So they budgeted nothing, they requested nothing.
Right.
Nothing like that.
Nothing is, that's that.
Nothing is nothing.
That's easy.
Payroll taxes, recalculated, maybe, 19 and
That's good.
good.
And supplies.
That's the ballots.
Where do they take food out of?
Supplies.
Oh, supplies.
Food? Yeah.
Yes, I think that is, remember? Yeah, we did do
Oh,
that.
that's good, the unexpended balances.
$11.
Always, no, always matters. Oh, no, food you're talking about? Okay, I was talking about,
I don't see food on here,
it's
actually.
not
I
on.
don't either.
I was looking at supplies.
Yeah, well, when they just write supplies, you have no idea what it really is.
Reimbursement for
We don't have,
Got my sticky note.
that would be the reimbursement today of $110.
Yep.
That
Yeah,
sounds
so
like.
that-
Yeah.
that sounds about
That's
right,
it.
for the November election.
So, we really need 7,000 in there?
ballots.
Balance.
We probably haven't been
ballots.
charged yet
Yeah.
for,
The ballots would be less expensive.
The maintenance agreements, that's a machine, isn't it?
Our town election
Yes,
is
yeah,
like,
and
what,
the
3 or 4
rental.
ballots.
I didn't hear you either, Betty.
That's
Sorry.
expensive. They're
I said
very
I didn't hear you
expensive.
either.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The maintenance agreements are for the machines,
Right,
Yeah, for the state.
okay.
and the postage.
That's the biggie.
So, Emma, oh, forget it. Never mind.
That seems
I
reasonable.
keep going to the wrong one.
So that one looks
Did we
good
beat
to
this one
me.
to death?
That's good to me.
I think it's done.
I think it's
I
done.
think it's done.
Well, good, we can get rid of this one, Sean, so I'll start with that
A
tomorrow.
motion to accept the Board of Selectmen's recommendations.
Second, all in favor?
Anything in that?
That one's done.
I didn't see it.
All
I
right,
didn't like that one.
wages for general government.
That's the same as it was in 2016, 17.
Selectmen wages went down by
Yeah,
12,000, but janitorial went up by 4.
Emma,
So that was
No.
Can I ask about the regular wages?
What's the deal with the janitorial thing? That wasn't in it, that
I
hadn't
guess
been
we
in
skipped to
before.
janitorial.
Yeah, it had to be.
Where was it before?
Where was it? It's 3009.
Yeah, it was somewhere.
They haven't put it in there for a
Oh, okay.
while.
So payroll taxes went down.
Okay, the wages,
Regular wages?
regular wages stayed the same.
Stay the same.
Overtime
stayed the same.
Okay, but I don't understand how it stayed the same, because you dropped a position out there $1 an hour. And,
What position?
the deputy clerk was dropped $1 an hour. So I'm not sure how that stayed the same. Then you did give Selectman's assistant $1 an hour, but she's retiring, so I'm doubtful that they'll hire a new person at the same price.
Well, it depends on
Depends
the
on
qualifications.
Yeah, it
I
depends.
mean, that's the barrier you have in there, depending.
Right.
You need a variable.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I
somebody after all that time, and they're gonna start a new person at the
Not
same.
necessarily,
It
well,
depends
No, it
if they-
doesn't
Because they
necessarily
would have done that
have to do
job
with that.
somewhere else.
Yeah, they have to see what they pay in other towns.
Yeah, well, and.
We're not gonna get anybody
good
good
at
job.
And so I was just gonna say that, don't even
we
stop with
gotta, I mean, we
that.
gotta pay them.
And it's always one out of town, so I would guess that someone's at minimum wants the same rate.
Okay, so if that's the same rate, but we still dropped $1 an hour off the deputy clerk's position.
Well, do you have all those so we can all see them? I mean, I don't know what you got.
You
have
know.
everybody's, I'm just saying, you said they dropped $1 an hour, so I'm just.
I mean, I don't know.
They did. No, I have it, but it's all
Betty,
lumped
probably
together.
did.
Because we gotta.
I sat in the meeting, I know they did. Not Ben, Royce, you were in on that, the whole meeting. Deputy clerk's, position was dropped $1 an hour, correct?
I believe it was, yes.
Thank you, Royce. Appreciate
Okay,
that.
I'm just saying, never mind. You know, we all have a right to say what we wanna say and give our opinion, and we should respect everyone.
You're right.
We don't have to like each other, and that's okay.
It was nothing about it, I just told you that they dropped
Well,
one
I
position.
just asked because you kept saying
No,
this, so I thought
because
maybe you
said,
had
"Do I
everybody's
approve?"
position.
I
That's
don't walk
all.
around with everybody's paycheck in my back pocket
Well, you
either.
have a right to know everybody's wages,
Well,
I just
then
didn't
what
know
I'm
if you
just
did.
saying is maybe we should check into that. I
So
wasn't
that'd
saying.
be $10,000.
It's in the book, it's in the book, it's publicized.
That's right, that's all I'm
If
saying.
you wanna know, look at it.
Exactly.
I think that we have to have some wiggle room when we
I
hire
do
people.
too.
I think there
Yeah,
has
because
to
there's
be some
usually a
wiggle
range
room.
of pay.
Right,
And
I think we need to leave it the way it is.
I wouldn't doubt them, I really, because they didn't go up, I'd just leave it.
7:36, done.
Okay, overtime, probably gonna be out the same.
Leave it the same, the selectmen's wages.
Yeah, it's done 116 so far.
And how much?
116 this year. That's all I put.
I'm sorry.
116 this year is all we spent so far this year in overtime.
Oh, $160. I'm like, well, we're on
Selectmen.
$160,000.
We're on selectmen grades.
Where'd you get the selectmen's raises this year?
Where?
He wasn't talking selectmen.
He was not
What'd you get?
talking about
732605.
Yeah.
Last year they spent 2640.
that.
I hate to tell you, but I don't think $20,000 is.
Yeah, but they're not doing assessing, planning on doing assessing.
Oh, they're not gonna do any assessing?
Well, that's what they.
That's why they're,
Are they gonna, are you gonna be doing any assessing? Do you know?
Royce,
I would imagine.
Yeah. Do you feel the selectmen